12 days before this prelims, I had my 24-hour election duty, and I thought this attempt is now gone because my interview was in late March and then only April. Those sessions used to give me confidence, all the interaction sessions that I had, discussion sessions that I had this time, because firstly, they made me realize that my knowledge is also enough. Secondly, I understood that just speak, whenever you're getting an opportunity, just speak in the interview. So even if you feel that the chairperson is just giving a monologue and they're not allowing you to speak, whatever little breaks that he has, just try to put in your point in that. I have done all the mistakes that you are asking. So yes, I did start answering from day one of my preparation. What happened was that I realized that firstly, you write very bad answers because you do not have any linkage. Even if attitude of Nishkam Karm that you said, it has come in after a lot of failures and everything. So yes, but what has been consistent from the day I started my preparation, then I also joined your discussion group. And that was also very deliberate. I thought that even if I'm able to attend say 5 sessions before my interview, let me just go for it, because it also has had people from diverse parts of the country. So I thought that maybe that would also help me broaden my interaction. I would understand what people are saying. A lot of factual errors are there in the chat GPT answers, so that I did not use it for content per se, but I used to use it for how it generates the points. So if I would ask it to diversify its points and how it is diversifying, that was important for me rather than what information it is providing. Because
today I have a very special guest with me, Rishika, who got 217 rank in this year civil service exam. Rishika had attended our group discussion program throughout, and which had helped her to secure 190 marks in interview. And very happy that Rishika is joining with us this in Lead IAS Success Podium. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Rishika, as I do with every toppers, this interview will be having 3 parts. The first, we will talk about your journey, and then we will talk about your strategy, and most importantly, the final part will be talking about mindset.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So Rishika, what was your journey? I know that you're a teacher, a special background. So how long it took for you to reach here?
Okay, so I have been a teacher since past 6 years, and 1 or 2 years into my job, I started with the preparation. So it has been a very long journey of 4 years, 4+ years, I would say. And it took, at first it was a prelims failure, then reaching the finalist, and then reaching the interview stage and not making it to the finalist, and then finally getting a rank. So I would say it has been a pretty long journey for me.
Okay. So when did you decide that you should attempt civil service?
So basically, I decided it after getting into my job. I was very satisfied with my teaching job. But then, apart from teaching, there are a lot of duties, like I did COVID duty, election duty, etc. And during that, I encountered a lot of civil servants working. And I realized that, maybe I should try for this because it is a very diverse profession. And that is how that seed got sown in. And then after that, I started preparing for it.
All right.
Yeah.
So in this journey, I think you had seen a lot of failures also.
Yes.
So actually, what helped you to kind of bounce back?
So there were 2 things. First was that career-wise, I thought that I'm already in a career that is satisfying enough for me, so I do not have a lot to lose. So that mentality it helped me, uh, minimize the effect of a failure upon me. And second was that I had a very strong support system in terms of my family, and they would always say that just focus on your effort, does not matter, today or tomorrow it is going to pay through in some way or the other. So that kept me going, that let me just try.
All right.
Yeah.
Will you miss your teaching profession?
Yes, I feel that I would always be a teacher.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's come to the strategy part.
Yes, sir.
So you have took almost 4 attempts to crack this exam.
Yes.
2 failures in prelims and 1 failure in mains. And you are someone who knows the difficulties of each stage.
Yes.
So you have gone through a trial and error method to figure out what works. So what was the biggest learning? What did you correct in each attempt to secure this rank?
So after the prelims failures, what I realized was that I was diversifying my sources a lot. So that was one problem. I had to consolidate it, especially because I feel that you have to prepare a strategy as per the time and the conditions available to you. So earlier I used to follow any topper strategy, 8 hours. So I would try to fit in that 8-hour strategy into my 4-hour routine. That did not work.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started consolidating my sources. I thought that I will study only as much as I can retain and revise till the end. So that was one major change that I made. Second was the temperament change. I earlier I used to constantly feel underconfident that I'm not good enough for this journey. So that used to compromise upon my confidence, especially on the exam day. I would get intimidated by the fact that somebody has already cleared prelims and is appearing again, and those things used to affect me. So that I started, I started ignoring those things and started focusing on my thing. And third was, in the study part, I just accommodated mock tests, but not random mock tests, majorly PYQ focused. Whatever I felt that matches with PYQs the most, I used to pick up only that. And so these were the minor changes in the strategy. I think that helped in the long.
When it comes to prelims preparation, how did you do this preparation? So you started to collect all information from some materials, or you started to read foundation books and then move to some current affairs sources? How was the content management part for prelims happen?
So I feel that standard books are very important because they kind of form a base. So in the initial months of my preparation, I used to read standard books multiple times. So what happens is when you read it a lot of times, then some information gets ingrained. So after that, I made short notes of some subjects, and for some I took some ready-made PDFs that were available across different coaching institutes, the division PDFs, because now I'd already read the main content once, and I could, when I read those short notes, I could recall from the main part. So then I stuck to only those PDFs and those notes. So that's how my content got consolidated over time, because then I did not used to go back to the main books because I'd already read them enough to retain them. And the factual part is already mentioned in most of the PDFs, and it was also mentioned in the short notes that I created for some subjects. So whatever I kept forgetting, I used to only revise that in the last. And then I think most of the value addition part was made from the PYQ related notes that I used to make. For example, in mock tests, we come across a lot of explanations which have a lot of new points in them. Especially, and also when we are doing PYQs, then there are a lot of options which we have to Google search and then make some notes. So those, across time, that extra information became so much that any other value addition was not needed. They were, enough. Around one register was made of only the mock test and the PYQ learnings. So that.
There are two schools very much prevailing about prelims preparation. One is to study through a lot of question solving. One is to focus more on reading things and a little bit of question solving. So which category you belong to?
I think the question solving follows the first part, because otherwise what happened with me was, initially when I started following this I also fell for this once, that just start solving questions and over the time you would improve and you will develop that temperament. But then that problem of getting stuck in the two options and then marking the wrong option, that used to happen a lot. And then I realized that it is because my basics are not yet set. So when I got through reading again and again, retaining it, and then question. So after you're done with the reading stage, then you can rely on the question stages in the later part of your preparation. But I think when you are starting with the preparation, it is a little bit intimidating also, and a little bit confusing also, to directly jump on the questions.
Okay. And also, did you have a schedule for prelims preparation? So in the first and second attempt, how much time you exclusively devoted for prelims?
So I would majorly focus on my second attempt, because first was a very haywire sort of a thing. So my schedule was that firstly I realized that because I was working, so usually they say just that focus exclusively on prelims only for the last 2-3 months, because until then keep practicing your mains. But I could not fit in two things together, because I used to come back and then study. So from January itself, I started preparing for prelims in both the attempts that both the past attempts that I cleared prelims. I used to start with it in January.
Exclusively for prelims.
Yeah, because I realized that I have half. I used to calculate my time dividing it by 2, because half day goes there. So that's why till December I would practice answer writing. I would revise mains. But as soon as January started approaching, I would start with prelims preparation. I also feel that some subjects of prelims, they are you can use them in mains as it is. For example, history is same. Then in polity also, in the name of value addition, we quote articles, we quote committees. That is something we already read for prelims. So I never used to view the preparation exclusively anyway. But the only exclusive part was the answer writing part, which used to stop by January.
Okay. So in the last attempt also, you have dedicated this much of time for prelims.
But yes, but it was a long, because last attempt I also had my interview, which was scheduled pretty late. So it was in March.
Okay.
So yeah, so some flexibility I had kept for myself, because of course interview becomes the focus when it is nearing. But otherwise, yes, when January came, my mind used to, a part of my mind used to start focusing subconsciously that okay, prelims is approaching, so now I have to start revising the old material again.
Okay. Were you following a schedule of a test series, or like did you make a schedule for yourself that like I'll finish the subject by this much of time and I'll take a test? So is that the structure that you follow?
So later, when I was confident with at least the standard book part, then I stopped giving subject-wise test series. I used to only give full-length mock test.
Okay.
So, but yes, for example, if I finish history, I would still pick up a full-length mock test, because I have already studied geography, even though not recently. So that also helped me stay in touch with the subject. So, but yes, I would analyze my performance mainly for history, because that is what I've revised recently. So I shifted to full and mock tests only. So therefore, my schedule for test series was majorly flexible. And by January, most of the test series start providing you full and mock tests, irrespective of the test series you take. Initially, only they are subject wise. Then it shifts to FLT later. So I would just do those, and along with that, I would do the previous year question.
Okay. Now let's come to the mains part.
Yes.
So how was content for mains was organized? You prepared a syllabus-wise note, and then you added current affairs from the materials you may consolidated notes. Is that the way?
Yes, that is the way. But majorly, I feel that in mains, current affairs has taken more weightage than the static part. So it has to be current affairs first preparation in the months between the pre and the mains, because the materials also that are available, they cover a lot of static portion considerably well. So for example, if we are preparing for GS2, then we can go for the current affairs material, and then if we feel that we are forgetting upon some static part, then we can brush through our prelims notes. That was my strategy, that focus on the current affairs part, and then brush through the short notes for the pre. So that would help me organize and link both the areas, and then I would shift to answer writing and mainly improve by that.
All right. So what are your non-negotiable in answer writing?
Yes. So firstly, non-negotiables are that firstly we should, for example, if we are quoting any article, we are quoting any. So this thing that you can bluff a little means, I don't believe in that. I feel that factually your answer should be correct. Second is that. Of course, the structure of the answer also matters a lot. So with means, the thing is that we have to constantly brainstorm that how from the existing knowledge that we are having we can generate maximum of the points. So when we are practicing answer writing, we should not just focus on the accuracy part is important, but apart from that, the diversification part is also important. Second is that a lot of people think that they would manage the time later. First, they should just start writing the answers, and then they would fit that into the 7 minute per answer routine that we usually follow. But I do not think that it works. From the day one itself that we are writing, our focus should be that somehow we have to fill 2 pages within 7 minutes, and gradually we improve upon the quality of the answer.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And also in answer writing, did you deliberately try to maximize the number of points, or you will just stick to what is exactly known to you? So because some of the toppers saying the strategy that like whatever that comes to mind, if it's having some relevance, I would write and maximize the number of points so that it looks complete.
Yes.
Do you follow the same strategy?
Yeah, I feel that in this journey, one should not be very experimental. If you feel that something has worked for a majority of people, you should adopt it. So yes, I did do that. And second is that what I realized was that most of the time, especially when we reach a certain level of in answer writing, most of the points that we are writing do sound relevant to the question that is being discussed. So even so, for example, in a lot of questions we write pros and cons. We divide the question into political, economic, social, and we feel that the social part is not even asked. Then why are we writing? But it is upon our skills and how we modify that point to make it fit to the context.
Okay.
So yes, I
So
did that.
would you recommend starting answer writing from day one?
No, personally, I would not. A day from because I have done all the mistakes that you are asking. So yes, I did start answering from day one of my preparation. What happened was that I realized that firstly you write very bad answers because you do not have any linkage. Even if you say you're starting with polity and you start attempting a polity answer from day one, you have to understand that if you are comparing your copy with some topper's copy or something, they have a diverse knowledge of all the subjects and you are just writing with a very minimal knowledge base. So that would not work, and I used to feel very dejected that what am I even writing? These are not up to the mark. So once you are done with the syllabus, at least just even if you're done with it once, then you can start with answer writing, not an issue. Before that, the more one should focus more on reading the answers. For example, say reading the topper's copy, reading the model answers. So when we are preparing initially, go for reading of the PYQs, reading of the model answers, and then once you are done at least once with the curriculum, then just shift to the writing part.
Okay. Now let's come to the interview part.
Yes, sir.
So in interview, what did they ask?
Okay, so interview was it was an ecclesiastical mix of a lot of topics. International relations was one, then the defense, the India-China situation, and then the Russia-Ukraine situation. A lot of questions were also asked on technological advancements, the GPU AI revolution that's taking place, and some of it was also asked from my personal background, my hobbies. Mainly, I have also worked as a radio jockey, and these things were there in my DAF, so they asked from that also.
All right.
Yeah.
So how did you organize your interview preparation given that you had very limited time?
Yes.
And also what qualitative improvement you have made from the first interview to the second interview?
Yes. So in the first interview, I had a lot of time. Still, it did not work out the way I wanted it to, because firstly, in the interview phase, I went into a lot of knowledge consolidation, because I felt, I used to read the transcript and then I would feel that I do not know about technology. Let me read about technology. But what happens is that after so much of preparation, after pre and mains, we usually know a lot of topics. They are subconsciously there. If we are just following the newspaper apart from that, that is enough. So we have to work upon point generation based on the knowledge that we are already having, instead of just focusing on consolidating new knowledge every day. So that was one mistake. I used to speak less. I used to feel that I'm good at speaking. So maybe, whatever I read, that would automatically come in through the answers, but that did not happen. And then I went for mock interviews without having those discussions and those, the peer discussions. I feel they are very important. And the brainstorming exercises are also very important, that how you are generating answers based on whatever is asked from you. It does not matter whether it's from your field or not. Whether you can speak a few lines on it is, I think, what matters the most in the interview. So in the first interview, I remember I ended up saying I don't know in a lot of questions. So, and a lot of questions I knew also, but I just felt that I'm not confident enough to answer. I do not have the relevant content and all of it. So so I improved upon all of it. This time I had only 15-20 days, say, because it was in the second week I had my interview. So this time on the day the results came, I started speaking sessions with my peers, informal speaking sessions. So we would read the newspaper and then we would discuss upon the current affairs. Then I realized that in those sessions, I also realized that a lot of us have the similar knowledge level. It is not about knowledge anymore. So that also gave me that confidence. Then I also joined your discussion group. And that was also very deliberate. I thought that even if I'm able to attend, say, 5 sessions before my interview, let me just go for it. Because it also has had people from diverse parts of the country. So I thought that maybe that would also help me broaden my interaction. I would understand what people are saying. And those sessions used to give me confidence, all the interaction sessions that I had, discussion sessions that I had this time. Because firstly, they made me realize that my knowledge is also enough. Secondly, I understood that just speak, whenever you're getting an opportunity, just speak in the interview. So even if you feel that the chairperson is just giving a monologue and they're not allowing you to speak, whatever little breaks that he has, just try to put in your point in that. Because only then will you get marks. If you do not speak, if you just keep waiting for your right opportunity, right question, then it is just a one-time opportunity. It will just pass by.
All right.
Yeah.
And also one of the difficult part in UPSC preparation is preparation of current affairs.
Yes.
So what is your strategy with respect to current affairs? Did you read newspaper throughout your preparation cycle?
No, I did not read throughout my preparation cycle. Between prelims and mains, very little time. So no newspaper during that time. 2 months before prelims also no newspaper. Apart from that, yes, I used to read newspaper because say in a year, if you are reading only, even if you're reading newspaper constantly for say 3 to 4 months, you do get an idea of what is happening around, you build a base, and after that you can rely on magazines and all, because at the end of the day you have to, for mains the focus has to be that whatever current affairs you know, how do you incorporate in your answers. So for mains I used to rely on the magazines. I used to feel that they're enough. And then when mains used to get over, then I would shift back to newspaper reading, because then holistic information and opinions are also required. So then newspaper used to be a very important part of preparation.
All right. Did you make any notes when you read newspaper?
Yes, from 2 points of view, I used to make notes. First was some information, that some opinion based informations, or some book recommendation, because reading was also one of my hobbies. So those areas, related to those areas, I used to just save in my notes. And second was, if I used to encounter some anecdotes, some phrases that maybe I can use in essay or ethics, those I used to make notes. For factual information, I used to make notes initially, but later I realized that there are already so many magazines and everything available that covers up the facts comprehensively, so I did not make it.
All right. Now let's come to the technology part. Did you use any productivity tools or note taking apps to do that?
Yes, so all my notes were online.
Okay.
The reason being, I used to feel that I would be able to, scroll through my phone, my tab, wherever I am. So I used to use OneNote a lot. I used to use OneNote. Then I also used to use a lot of voice to text notes, because sometimes you're very tired, so you just speak the notes and it transcribes. And my revision also was a lot from videos, etc., because once you're done with the text or you are very bored with the preparation, I would just shift to video notes, the videos that are available for free, the marathon sessions, the animated videos, all of it. So technology and these tools, they were, yes. And also of course the to-do list and the productivity apps that we use.
All right. Did you use generative artificial intelligence for the preparation? This batch of UPSC toppers had the first batch is having the privilege of using ChatGPT.
Yes. Yes, I did use ChatGPT a lot. But in mains, what I realized was that a lot of factual errors are there in the ChatGPT answers. So that I did not use it for content per se, but I used to use it for how it generates the points. So if I would ask it to diversify its points and how it is diversifying, that was important for me rather than what information it is providing, because a lot of factual inaccuracies are there in the ChatGPT answers. And then for my interview preparation also, I used a lot of ChatGPT to to gain an understanding of how questions can be asked from this particular topic, from this particular hobby of mine, and then again how the answer is being structured through it. So that was my focus.
All right, wonderful. And now let's come to that part, that is mindset. When the strategy is having that leverage, it's always the mindset that wins the game. So you had a plan B. So do you really recommend a plan B to everyone?
What I understood through this journey is that there is no one size fits all approach in it. So I cannot recommend it to everyone. But yes, if you are somebody who feels that a job can add value to your life in general. For example, somebody who feels that you need a job, but you are in two minds whether to take it, whether it's going to compromise upon your preparation. I feel that you should take it, because that gives you a financial security, a mental security. Secondly, this exam has a very low success rate. We all understand that. So maybe you can go for 1 or 2 attempts and then figure out if you want to do it with a career now, because your base has already been made. So what I feel is that if you are somebody who's secure, you have a backup, you do not have to worry about it, then it's okay. You can go for preparation. But otherwise, do not feel that because of job your result is going to be compromised. You have to be a little patient, and you have to modify your strategies a bit, but it will not affect your final result. That is what I feel.
All right, great.
Yeah.
And also, I just wanted to understand the percentage of luck in your success. How do you perceive this? Because I asked this question to all the toppers just to understand how do they perceive it.
From day one, I have seen it as a 50-50 journey, to be honest. Not even like 1% luck factor, a 50% luck factor. The reason being that firstly we start preparing through different circumstances. One luck factor comes in there. Somebody has a first-hand guidance. For example, now somebody close to me, they would have a first-hand guidance from my experience.
Yes.
I did not have it, so that is a difference. Second is that, when you are sitting in the exam hall, what your the circumstances before, for example, luck factor before this prelims, like 12 days before this prelims, I had my 24-hour election duty, and I thought this attempt is now gone because my interview was in late March, and then only April. The result comes in April. When you do not make it, you get disheartened, and all the time, 1 or 2 weeks get wasted in there. So in June, I had my duty. I came back. I had fallen sick because it was a 24-hour duty. So I thought that this attempt is also gone. I was crying that I'm not going to give it this attempt. It's a sure shot failure for me. But this time I got a rank when I least expected it. So I always feel that the efforts that we keep putting in, they consolidate to form the luck factor someday or the other in this journey. Or even if not in this journey, maybe later in life we get rewarded through that. So, but yes, luck is there simply because people are there are many people preparing for very few seats, so there has to be a luck factor in it.
So I feel that you could somehow detach the fruits of your work from, I mean, probably say nishkama karma. So did you ever have a feeling that, okay, you will be getting into a good rank?
I still am not very satisfied with my rank, to be honest. But yes, when I cleared prelims this time, then I had a hope that maybe because now, this time the immediate preparation was very less. Of course, over the years I had been preparing, that's a different factor. But before prelims, I did not get much time to prepare. So when I got through, I thought maybe this time luck is favoring me in some way or the other. So maybe this time I'll make it to the list. Rank you are never sure of, because when you get your marks or when you get your rank, you always feel that you could have done more. But then, whatever comes your way.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I ask you to put these three things in descending order of priority for your success, one is attitude, the second one is hard work, the third one is strategy. What mattered most in your success?
For me, it has been hard work.
Hard work.
Yes. Because strategy also I figured out after making a lot of mistakes and everything. And attitude, this attitude of nishkam karm that you said, it has come in after a lot of failures and everything. So yes, but what has been consistent from the day I started my preparation, whether I was having the right strategy or not, I used to keep working. Whatever I felt was right at that point of time, I used to study. So I think that those efforts consolidated in some way or the other.
All right.
Yes.
And also, just wanted to understand, how do you manage the social media? It's a biggest distraction right now.
I am not on social media.
Okay.
I'm still not on social media. And now I have a LinkedIn account just to stay connected with a lot of people. But apart from that, I do not use social media.
I also wanted to know, how did you manage your time along with your teaching job?
Yeah. So, firstly, as I told earlier also, that I modified my strategy because so when I used to come back, my day started early, of course, because I have to report by 7:30, 7:45. So getting up at 5:45. So my day started at 5:45 usually. Then I would come back by say 2:45 around and 3 p.m. So you need rest also because entire day you've been at the top of your voice and around kids. So after having lunch, after interacting with my mother a bit, that used to be my fixed schedule daily, that I have to interact with my parents, whatever, no matter what. So after that, all of that, from 4 to say 5:30, I would take rest, and then I would start studying. From 5:30, 6 p.m., I would sit at my study table. Then some days I could stretch my study hours till say 10, 11. Some in between, of course, the dinner and everything takes place. So on good days, it used to be like a 4.5 hour of productive study. On other days, it used to be like a 3.5 hour of study. But yes, management also came in because I realized that if I have to say, a lot of strategies recommend 8 hours at least of studies daily. So if I am putting in following that 8 hour schedule into my 4 3 hour routine, that is not going to work. So I then started consolidating my sources. As I said, that after reading standard books initially, then I did not pick them up because I had the kind of linkage that is required, I already was able to make it. So then I shifted to only just revising the short notes, or maybe not giving the subject test, just attending the FLTs later. All of these small tweaks that I made were I was able to manage my time.
All right. Okay. And also, you've gone through a lot of lessons. And what is your biggest message to the future aspirants?
So I would say that sincerity is always rewarded in this journey, sooner or later. And secondly, also please analyze your circumstances very well before you start your preparation. Make your strategy accordingly. You want to make a 2-year plan without a job, 3-year plan, or you want to prepare with a job, it is not going to affect your result if you are preparing consistently, if you're preparing with hard work. And secondly and third is that we have to be a little realistic when we are preparing, because it has a very less success rate, this exam has. So we have to be a little patient and a little realistic also, and prepare with the fact that this effort is going to be rewarded someday or the other, in some way or the other, instead of expecting immediate results always. And also when we are watching some topper strategy, I would suggest watch the strategies that relate to your situation, instead of just picking up blindly any topper strategy that works as per the rank. So these are the small things, and the rest is just individual journey, and my best wishes to everyone.
Okay. And also, very curious, will your students miss you?
They're going to miss me a lot. I'm
So-
already receiving will miss you cards from them.
Okay.
So yeah, and second is that I always stay in touch with them. So I don't think that it's going to be that big of an issue. But yes, they will miss me. I have been we have had a very good connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, how life has changed after the result day?
No, not much.
Not much.
Because still in the confusion of how to plan for the future, what is going to lie ahead. All of these things have been taken in mind. But yes, a sense of relief has swept in, I would say, that because for the first time I felt that I am also being favored by luck. So
Okay.
that sense of satisfaction that yes, it is going to work out
Okay.
someday, that
Okay.
came.
Another interesting factor is you are completely Delhiite.
Yes,
So how Delhi as a city shaped you and also helped you to become successful in this field?
Firstly, Delhi as a city shaped me because I always found that this city has a lot of opportunities. My education, my college, my job also, then later, everything was in Delhi, and I never felt that I'm missing out on something because I'm not venturing out of Delhi. Second is, in my preparation, the entire hub of UPSC preparation is located in Delhi, even though I use most of the resources online. But I always felt that it is not very far away. If I have to meet a teacher, if I have to meet if I have to collect some material, I don't have to worry about all of these areas. And also I feel that this competitive spirit is very high, especially when you venture into these areas of Delhi, or in general also. I found this in my school and college as well. So that always pushes you to keep aspiring for more and putting in more efforts. So yes, this has been there, and of course I'm going to miss that comfort zone of everything being located at an arm's length here.
Okay.
So yes, that is
All
there.
right. Rishika, it was great talking to you, and now you are an officer. Anyway, the job is to become good officer
Yes.
and also to lead the transformation of our country. And from Lead IAS, all congratulations and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Lead IAS, #1 IAS Academy in Kerala.